Okay, good day everyone. We will be discussing the last chapter for our midterms in business marketing. This is in relation with chapter 3. If you remember, our chapter 3 is customer segmentation. Now, after identifying the specific segment which we will target and position our products, we must understand the consumer buying behavior or their behavior towards spending. No? Okay, so consumer buying behavior is comprised of all considerations a customer or a person takes when deciding, when they want to purchase a product. So they are asking themselves these questions: what product or service to choose or buy? Where to buy the product, when to buy the product, how the product will be purchased, and why the particular product or brand was chosen. No, if you will try to relate this sa inyo, when you purchase something, no, especially if this is a high value product or an expensive product, usually you ask yourself these questions: what, where, when, how, and why. This also includes other factors like buyer's characteristics that influence a person's decision to buy, which we have already tackled, excuse me, in our customer segmentation or market segmentation. Diba? If you remember, we have characteristics. Ayan, yung ating, it is based on demographics, geographical, we have behavioral, and we have psychographic. These are characteristics of buyers. So let us discuss the patterns or the pattern of consumer buying behavior. Okay? We have two stimuli. Okay? When we say stimuli, these are the factors or forces that affects consumer buying behavior. We have the controllable environment, which is for a company or a business, meron tayong degree of control. While uncontrollable environment naman, we cannot control these factors, but we can adapt or adjust based on these factors. Okay? For controllable, we have the 4 P's in marketing, your marketing mix: product, price, place, and promotion. We have 100% control. While for uncontrollable, we have the political, economic, socio-cultural, technological, and climate. So what are the factors affecting consumer buying behavior? Ayan. Let's start with cultural. Okay? When we say cultural, cultural factor has the broadest on consumer buying behavior kasi it represents the basic values being taught from yung sa adolescent stage or even dun sa infant stage until they reach yung kanilang maturity stage or adult stage. Cultural factors affects yung response or behavior of the customer when it comes to buying products. Ayan. All right. So, where can we learn these cultural factors? Ito yung beliefs and behavior which are learned from the family. Ito yung very first na nagtuturo sa atin ng behavior. It always starts with the family. Okay? Reinforced by schools and other institutions in the society. And we can include also our religion. Companies must be able to fully understand the culture of the target market, okay, to come up a marketing strategy that will cater to their needs and wants. Okay, that's why we study the culture first before modifying our product. Within a particular culture, we have also the subculture, a group of individuals with common practices, beliefs, dialect, or orientation that belong to similar geographical locations. So here are some examples. In the Philippines alone, we have different cultures, no? But all of us are Filipino. Yan yung may have a major culture which is being a Filipino and subcultures naman depending on the region. Siyempre, we have culture from Cordillera, from Ilocos, from Manila, from Visayas, Palawan, Iloilo, Davao, etc. Different cultures among a greater culture. Okay? Ayan. So here are some examples, no? You can see, yun palang makikita pa lang natin eh. Di ba we are celebrating different festivals, no, in different places in the Philippines. It is one proof that we have subcultures under under dun sa greater culture which is being a Filipino. So what else? We have social factors. Ayan. Consumer buying behavior is also influenced by social, such as family, reference groups, social groups, and social status. Okay? So when we say reference groups, refers to a groups that can strongly influence the attitudes and character of a person. So these are some groups. For example lang, pakikita natin to sa Facebook, di ba yung mga Facebook groups natin, a group of people sharing the same interests or beliefs. Parang yung when it comes to preference of art, meron tayo yung mga prefer nila Japanese art or yung movies or media, they prefer yung Korean. Yan, these are reference groups. The group which a person wishes to be a part of is referred as aspirational group. Ito naman, you are not part of the group yet, but you want to be part of that group. That is aspirational group. A membership group naman is where a person, of course, is a member. We have yung mga memberships. Ayan. For professional, we have professional memberships. For example, group of accountants, ayan, or group of entrepreneurs or society of young entrepreneurs. That is a membership group. Something that you have to pay for, kumbaga parang entrance or fee to become a member. These groups has direct influence the person decision, especially when it comes to his or her brand choices. We also have groups such as yung when it comes to attitude no when spending in money. We have the investor group or we have a group who want to buy high valued items or mga branded items lang. Ayan. So these are some social factors. Other social factors, we can see ito. We have the LGBT. Ayan. What else? We have pwede rin dun sa, kumbaga yung kumbento. Ayan, samahan of nuns or sisters. I think sisters is the right term. Ito, another type of group with sharing the same interest. Ito, yung mga bikers group or even cars. Diba yung mga group of people na gusto mag-showcase ng kanilang cars. Or even we have yung fans club. No? It can be also considered as a social group. Ito, very old na. I'm not sure kung meron pa to. Official Aldab group. Fans group. Yan, the social groups. If you notice, all of them have different buying patterns or buying behavior. Okay? For example, dito pa lang sa Aldab, of course, since fans sila ng Aldab, they like to purchase yung mga items, di ba? Yung mga items related to Alden N. Ano pangalan to? Si Yaya Dab. Ayan, yung mga, anong tawag dun, yung mga promotional items na binibenta sa kanila. Or mga media, or movies, or television shows na sila ang nagsastar. Yun yung gusto nilang pagkagastusan. O dito naman sa biker group, of course, they prefer to buy products na parts ng motorcycle. Ayan. Others, ito, we have ito. Speaking of which, when it comes to Japanese culture, di ba, we have a group of people na gustong dito. Ano yung tawag dito? I think ang tawag sa kanila is otaku. Ayan. The otaku, yung they prefer to buy Japanese culture products. We have also yung people who loves to play, to wear yung mga, ito, cosplay group. Okay, we have the investment. Ayan, sabi ko kanina, people who want to invest. And of course, yung other hobbies such as toys, figurines, etc. Ayan, these are some social groups. Ayan, family members are strong buying market. Family is the most important consumer buying organization in a society. Kasi if we try to see, di ba, yung setup ng isang family, all income of the family, isa lang usually ang nag-handle. Which is, in the Philippines, commonly, it's the mother. So, the mother assess the needs of the whole family, and she will make the decisions of what should be bought for the needs of that family. Parents always influence the brand choice of their children. Especially for children, wala pa silang preference, yung mga nasa young. Okay? So, if, for example, if the product will cater to the children or yung mga, infant, ayan, or mga toddlers, they will not target syempre dun sa children. They will always target dun sa parents. Kasi parents are the buying, they have the buying power. No? Companies are expected to know the various purchasing roles of each member of the family. Okay, just like our example earlier, the mothers will assess the primary needs before the wants. At yun ang kanyang bibilihin. Primary needs of the family members. Ayan, so family talaga. Family is always number one. Especially in the Philippines, no, companies have big emphasis, no, large emphasis on families. That's why if you notice, tulad na sinabi ko kanila, mother, siya ang taga-budget, siya ang taga-bili. If you notice yung mga products natin, tipid packs, di ba, yung mga maliliit, downsizing. The reason is, of course, it would be attractive to mothers. Sila ang bibili. No? They prefer to buy products wherein they could save more money or makakatipid sila. Okay? Ayan. So, society is also made of a class structure known as social class. Ayan, dito tayo pupunta ngayon. This is composed of individuals with the same interest, behavior, as well as values. Wait lang, check lang natin. Okay, let's continue. Individuals in the same social class trend to dress the same manner. Ano ba usually yung social class natin dito sa Philippines? Very ano naman yan eh. Very commonly sa ating lahat. We have the class A, also known as the elite people. They are the wealthy and the well-known. Okay? For example, in the Philippines, ito, we have the billionaires, Henry C. and family, pero rest in peace na si Henry C. Pumano siya couple years ago. We have Lucio Tan, Andrew Tan, Enrique Razon, John Gakong Wei, David Consunji, George T, Tony Tan Kachong. Do you know Tony Tan Kachong, the owner of Jollibee Food Corporation, Sir Jollibee? Robert and Andrew Gotianon. Okay? So, nandun sila sa Class A. These are the wealthy people and it is understood that they have higher purchasing power. May mas budget sila. So, if we will try to analyze, what could be the products that they are going to spend their money on? Siyempre, yung mga high-valued products or branded products or luxury items. So, nandun sila. Class B naman are people who are professionals and entrepreneurs. They have comfortable lifestyles and good income. Not as high dun sa Class A, pero they have the budget then. So, we have professionals. Ayan. And we have the entrepreneurs. When we say professionals, we have the doctors, lawyers, professors, etc. Okay? Class B. Ang kanilang income is still above average, pero hindi sing taas nung Class A. For Class C naman, these are considered the middle class, which is composed of workers who live in the modest residences. And if located in city are often, nagre-rent sila. So, usually they seldom have their own property. No? So, when we analyze yung kanilang spending patterns, ito yung medyo, kumbaga sila yung inuuna muna nila yung bills at kung ano yung matira, they would keep it to themselves. Dun pa lang nila gagastos for themselves. Their priority is on rent, ayan, bills, electricity bills, etc., etc. Dito mo rin maririnig minsan yung sometimes their salary is not enough to cover all expenses. Ayan. And of course, we have the Class D, the big majority of the people in the Philippines, which is a sad note, pero I guess it is still true until today, especially when the pandemic hit, medyo dumami ang pumunta sa Class D. This refers to the lower class made up of skilled and unskilled laborers or low-wage earners. Or sometimes, these are the unemployed. Ayan. So, if we try to see, very limited ang kanilang income. So, ano ba ang ginagawa nila? So, ito, they try to, ayan, may mga pinagkakitaan sila. For example, yung pagre-recycle ng basura. Or if we try to see din yung kanilang patterns, yung kanilang behavior. I'm sure naman you have seen sa Facebook sila yung mga nagrarally, increasing the minimum wage, yung stable na ayuda, Ayan, para sa walang trabaho or they are asking for employment, stable employment. Ayan, so nandun sila sa class D. Poverty line, kumbaga yun ang ano natin sa Philippines. Okay, now let's go to personal factors naman. We'll consider now the family life cycle no, with the personal factors. So in our family life cycle, we have different stages from adolescent, young adult, married, couple with children, and senior citizen. So dito tumatakbo yung buhay natin. And if we try to consider, each of these stages have different spending patterns or behaviors. Ayan. Usually, saan ba nagkakaroon ng purchasing power? Di ba nagsa-start yan sa young adult? No? For young adult, ano bang ginagawa minsan ng young adult? Dito siya from time na binibigyan ng baon, yan, limited baon, ano kaya ang kanyang pag-budget? Nung face-to-face siguro, ang baon nyo is 100 pesos per day. No, how can you budget yung 100 for one day? Di ba? Yeah, usually na expenses natin, pamasahe, yung pang-recess, lunch, and even yung mga school requirements. No, how can you budget yung 100 pesos na baon mo per day? Ayan, it also affects your purchasing power. Pero once na you had your first job or first employment, yan na, tumataas na rin yung iyong wants na when it comes to basic needs. Kung dati, okay na sa'yo yung show my rice na lang kasi mura, 25 pesos. Ngayon, syempre, nagja-Jollibee ka na kasi you have higher spending power. For married naman, of course, ano ang focus pang spending pattern ng married? Syempre, build, build, build. Diba? Dito na yung you are buying cars, houses. Ayan, yung parang nag-i-invest ka na on a family. Coupled with children, ayan, of course, your spending pattern will focus more on the basic needs. Excuse me, on the basic needs of your children, especially for a baby, napakagastos, no? Ang dami mong kailangan i-consider. Vitamins, yung mga vaccines, diapers, gatas, etc. So, nandun na ang iyong spending pattern. How about for senior citizen? Ito naman yung nag-iiba din kasi when you are a senior citizen, usually you have more time kasi you are already retired. And sometimes, most of the time, syempre you have the budget. Yan. Kasi you are preparing, di ba? You are preparing for a retirement. So you have the budget. So usually, ang spending pattern ng mga senior citizen, they travel, no, they experience the world. So doon nila ginagastos-gastos. But in the Philippines, it seldom happens kasi since we have strong family bonds, no, usually yung retirement nung senior citizen, ni lolo't lola, minsan pinupunta pa rin niya dun sa kanyang mga apo. Ini-spoil niya yung kanyang mga apo. Yan. For my example pa lang, I have a 1-year-old baby. Very spoiled siya sa kanyang mga grandparents. Ang dami-daming binibili ng mga grandparents for my daughter, no, 1-year-old daughter. Okay? So yan. Here are some examples. Adolescent. Balikan lang natin. Ano bang preference ng mga adolescent? Di ba, more on friendship. Yung mga cheap foods. Nandun sila sa... Oh, for girls, I'm not sure if it's still true today. Ang priority is more on yung pampaganda. Perfumes. Ayan. When it comes to food naman, syempre, mas gusto natin yung junk foods. And for boys, pre-pandemic, syempre, lagi tayong nasa computer shop. Okay. For young adult, ayan, yung mga nagtatrabaho na. Ayan. So, investments, invest on gadgets, branded items, Starbucks. Sometimes we even have the budget na to eat on high-class restaurants. At nung pre-pandemic, ayan, dito natin pinagkagastusan, party-party. And yung uso ngayon is travel, no? Which is something good naman. Invest on experience, sabi nga nila. Yan ang kagandahan naman ng pag-travel. Newly married, ayan, build, wedding, cars, investments, houses, and even ito, pag newlywed ka, di ba, yung travels or yung honeymoon. Children, bills, and of course, children, education. I forgot to mention earlier, of course, you need to spend for the education of your children. Basic needs na tayo. And we have to consider din na when it comes to food, no, pag tayo ay couple with children, the food that we buy should be healthy. Yan. Ito na. For senior citizen, experiences. And of course, yung gamot. Gamot, yung mga, ito, aids, hearing aids, and of course, investment to their children. Ayan. Okay? If you notice, di ba, different spending behavior or spending patterns based on kung anong stage na sila ng family life cycle. Okay, so next we have the psychological factor. When you say psychological factor, this covers the different areas such as motivation, belief, and way of looking at things or situation. Ang key term na gagamitin natin is the motivation. What could be the motivation to buy that product? And motivation is what stimulates a person to purchase a product. Okay, do you still remember your Abraham Maslow's in hierarchy of needs? Ayan. Something that we always no, tackle during management subjects. Siguro pati in your senior high. Ito yung ating hierarchy of needs according to Maslow. According to Maslow, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 needs to satisfy, and we should always start from the bottom. Okay? We cannot move on the next level unless the bottom is accomplished or satisfied, sabi nga nila. So, ito pa lang, we need to satisfy first yung physiological needs, which is the food, water, warmth, and rest. And if we will try to relate it dun sa ating social class earlier, usually if your social class is higher, mas higher din ang needs mo dito sa hierarchy of needs. But if your social class is lower, lower din ang needs mo dito sa hierarchy of needs. So kung ikaw ay nakakabilang dun sa class D, dun sa poverty line natin, ang priority na needs mo is yung physiological, yung food, water, warmth, and rest. Swerte mo na kung umabot ka pa dito sa second, security and safety. Pero if you notice, di ba, yung mga medyo poverty line talaga in the Philippines, natutulog na sa kalsada. So they do not even have the need dito sa security. Ito pa lang ang need nila, food, water, warmth, and rest. Pero once na you have satisfied this, you can already move to the second, which is security and safety. Ang importante naman dito is house, a home. Diba? You are feel na secured ka. Those are the basic needs. Sabi nga nila yung first and second, physiological and safety. No? When it comes to psychological needs, ito na, belongingness and love needs. Ito na yung family, friends, and social groups. Esteem needs naman, we have the prestige and feeling of accomplishment. This is when you graduate, when you get promoted, or when you get recognized of something you have accomplished. Ayan, esteem needs. And if you have satisfied these four, dun ka palang pupunta sa self-actualization, yung achieving one's full potential, including creative activity. Ito yung may luxury ka na gusto mong i-discover yourself through art. Ayan. At ang kagandahang version ng self-actualization is once you satisfy all of these needs, yung apat, you have now the need to help others. Dun yung self-actualization. Isang kagandahan din ng self-actualization. The need to help others. But then again, you have to satisfy these four first before you can help others. Okay? Ayan. Another term na gagamitin natin is perception. It's a person interpretation of the information around him that helps him form a meaningful scenario. Very important na sa marketing ang first impression, no, when it comes to your products. Kasi building a first impression, you are also building a relationship, no, with your customer or potential customer. And yung perception nila of your product, yun ang kagandahan niya. Isang example pa lang dito, yung Magnum ice cream. No? Have you tried eating yung Magnum ice cream? That one reason why Magnum ice cream is very successful because of its packaging. Very premium, sabi nga nila. Simplistic. They are using yung brown and gold na color, black and gold, I mean, which is prestigious colors. So once the first time you see yung product na yun, yung Magnum ice cream, you now have the perception na it is something high of value just by looking at it. No? Kaya packaging really plays a great part then when it comes to building your the customer's perception. It's highly psychological. And we have also learning involves change in the person's attitude according to experience. Ito yung once you try a product, if there is a change in behavior or attitude, there's also learning. Isang example nito in America. In America kasi, yung taho, in the Philippines kasi taho is very common. It's very delicious. No? In America, sa tingin nila, no, kadiri ang taho. Kasi it's tofu with, sabi nga nila, soy pa yung una, pero it's not soy. It's sweetener, something na sweetener. Unang tingin lang, who would want no to drink yung taho, yung tofu drink? Yun ang unang tingin nila. Kadiri, sabi nga nila. Pero once they have tried, I have watched kasi a video in YouTube na pinapatikim yung taho in America. Once they have tried, no, ang sarap pala. They want to purchase that product again. They want to try that product again. And that is learning. A change of behavior once they have experienced the product. Ayan. Some examples ito. Siguro lahat naman tayo dito kumakain ng balot. Ayan. Can you still remember your first time na pagkain ng balot, di ba? Yung hindi mo pa siya natitikman at nakita mo yung itik, di ba? It's something na ayaw mong gawin kasi nakakadiri. Pero by now, I'm sure it is one of your favorite products. Another is the century egg. Ito, I have tried yung century egg. Ang baho. Unpleasant yung kanyang amoy. Pero when I tasted it, it's actually good. No? In other Asian countries, ito yung pagkain ng insects or spider. Maybe you don't want to eat yung spider, pero pag na-taste mo, ayos siya. One thing I have tried nung pumunta kami sa Cebu with my wife, yung worms. Ayan. Meron sila doon yung tinitinda na worm chicharon. Silkworm chicharon. Nakakadiri kasi it's worm. Pero once I have tasted it, para siyang green peas. Alam niyo yung muncher na green peas? Ganun yung taste niya. At masarap siya actually. Kasi these are dried worms naman. And of course, when it comes to experience, ayan, bungee jumping, nakakatakot. Or even skydiving, nakakatakot. Pero once you have tried at you experience no yung ganung type of product or service, gusto mong ulit-ulitin. That is learning. Okay? So we are on the last parts no, of this chapter 4, the buyer's decision process. Ayan. So let us discuss. Let's go straight here. So here is the process no, in buying something. So we always start with need recognition. After that, we do information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase decision, post-purchase behavior. So it involves 5 steps. Now, later, let's try to relate no, kung ginagawa ba natin to. So the very first thing we do is need recognition. Stage 1, what do we need? Yun lang naman to eh. What do we need? So it always start with a problem that needs to be satisfied or needs to be solved. That's why it is in the beginning of the buyer decision process. Let's say, kung bibili ka ng shampoo, di ba? Bakit mo ba kailangan ng shampoo in the first place? Ano yung problem? Siyempre, I need something na pwede kong i-shampoo sa aking buhok. And apparently, naubusan ako sa bahay. So, I already recognize the need, the problem. After that, we search for information. Stage 2 is where we begin to search alternatives to the product. Okay? So buyers here begin to look around to find out what's out there in terms of choice, and they start to work out that might be the best product. Okay, palitan natin example natin kanina, not shampoo. Let's say nasira yung aking phone. Ayan. So the problem is, the need is, I need the phone. Information search. Of course, this is a smartphone. I would be using this either sa aking online class or sa work. So, I would be searching, no? Ano ba ang mga smartphones available na pwede kong bilhin? With my budget, of course. And the needs or the features ng phone should be relevant no? Or match dun sa aking need bilang estudyante. So, I am already searching. Hindi naman tayo, especially for, di ba, high or expensive products, hindi tayo bilit ng bili basta-basta. We search for information which product would satisfy my need. Ayan. So, nag-search na ako. Nakapag-search ako ng Samsung, ng Oppo, Xiaomi, ano pa ba ibang brands? My phone, meron pa bang My Phone or Cherry Mobile? So, stage 3 involves now, I will be evaluating these alternatives. which among the alternatives that I have searched earlier is the best for me. Okay? So I will now set criterias, no, to assess. Dapat kaya niyang mag-download ng Google Meet, ng Google Class. Dapat mahaba ang battery, no? Dapat pwede akong mag-Facebook. Dapat pwede akong manood ng YouTube. Dapat pwede siyang mag-data, 4G or 5G. So these are now different criterias, no? So which among the options earlier ang pipiliin ko? Is it the Oppo, the Huawei, the Samsung, the Xiaomi? Oh, alin doon ang fit sa aking needs? And after that, we now create the decision. No, we buy or select a product dito sa stage na to. So after assessing those alternative products, I have decided that the best value for my money is Huawei. Yan. Yung Huawei ang binili ko. That is now the purchase decision. And the last step is the post-purchase behavior. Siyempre, after buying the product, ititest ko yung aking Huawei. No? I will check kung na-meet ba niya lahat ng aking needs. Ito yung ating post-purchase behavior. The process continues even when we have already bought the product. Kasi sometimes, even we have done yung mga first steps, minsan, hindi pa tayo satisfied dun sa Huawei. For example, ito, di ba, I have chosen Huawei. Nalaman ko pala na Huawei is not Android anymore. Di ba? Kasi hindi na sila na Android. So, I was really dissatisfied, no? Kasi, I cannot use yung mga Android apps. Yun yung post-purchase behavior. Sometimes, we are satisfied. We are happy with the product. Sometimes naman is, we are not happy. In times na we are not happy with the product, what should we do? Di ba, we ask for replacement. Or sometimes we ask for someone who can solve our problem. Ayan. So, sabi dito, if it does not meet your needs or solve the problem, we can take actions to improve the product. Your action on this point must be informed. Ito ang usually ginagawa natin eh. We inform other potential buyers. Di ba magpo-post tayo sa Facebook, I have bought this Huawei phone. Hindi pala siya Android. So, please do not buy this product. Ayan. So, yan yung ginagawa natin. We inform other buyers. Or even sa Shopee, di ba, there's a rating system. If we are not happy with our purchase, lalagyan natin ng 1 star. Not happy with the product. Sira nung dumating. Yan. So, these are post-purchase behavior. On the part of the business naman, syempre, in order to control or to help yung mga people na hindi satisfied sa kanilang product, anong ginagawa ng mga businesses? They give warranties, they give replacements, or they give customer support. Kasi they don't want the bad news naman to spread online. No? Ayan. So, those are the 5 steps. So, let's just review. So, when you are buying a product, this is now the buyer's decision process. It involves 5 steps: need recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase decision, and post-purchase behavior. And that is the end of our chapter 4 and the topics for midterms. Again, just like the other videos, if you are done watching this lesson, I want you to comment your name and section sa ating comment box for the attendance. And of course, I would like to say good luck with your midterms exam. So goodbye and thank you.